Hey everyone! So I'm totally filming in a different spot, so that's why this is all right here. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I have really been looking into and studying, and that is harassment in the workplace, which often goes hand in hand with employment retaliation. So, if you're new here, hey, my name's Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. If you don't know my background, I have a business I have a bachelor's degree in business administration and I'm currently studying business law. Wow, that was a lot to get out today. And so, today's video is obviously about harassment and employment retaliation in the workplace. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications. I post every single weekend. Let's get into this. All right. So, a lot of times when we talk about workplace harassment, we are often thinking of sexual harassment. And that's not the only thing that counts as harassment in the workforce. So, there's different kinds of harassments, and some of that includes, but are not limited to, verbal abuse, shouting, yelling, swearing, name calling, vulgarity, I believe. And I don't know if that's the same thing as belittling somebody, but that counts as well if you get belittled by a supervisor or somebody higher up than you. That is actually classified as harassment. Spreading rumors, gossip, lies, threats, or physical abuse. So, this happens a lot, I feel like, in the workforce, unfortunately, but a lot of people get their jobs threatened because if they go through the proper people to report something or whatever, oftentimes that comes with a threat. I definitely have had a personal experience with that. That counts as harassment. International isolation, ignoring, excluding coworkers. So oftentimes this looks like there's a meeting going on and then you're the one excluded from the meeting. Um, This has to be really kind of specific though, as in you have to obviously have not had like been attached to an email or something like that. Maybe yeah, there was an email reminder that was sent out to everybody who was supposed to be in the meeting, but you didn't get one. So yeah, making intimidation or manipulation. This one flies so well in workplaces, it's not even funny, and it definitely flies in my workplace as well. Excuse me. Intimidation. So what does that mean? Intimidation can be like leaning in and just giving off that body language of, "Hey, I'm the authority figure here, and I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong," that sort of thing. It can be just how somebody talks to you. I literally had an employer say, "So you think I should treat you as an equal because you have the same credentials as me?" That's intimidation. She also used the body language of leaning in and creating that intimidating environment. So, manipulation is a huge, huge one that I see way too much in workplaces, and unfortunately, it gets shown way too much in workplaces that have a narcissist in a position of power. So, manipulation is just literally anything you can do to control another human being. Um, so there's that. Making false accusations of coworkers' mistakes. So this could be like, hey, so and so didn't account this for this month's expenses. And in reality, they might have just like labeled it differently or something. So, and it's there in writing or whatever. Sabotaging or impeding a person's work. I feel like we don't need much explanation on that one. Cruel comments, belittling, there it is, and insults. So again, if somebody belittles you, that is harassment and should be reported. Unjust, harsh, or constant criticism. This one's really hard because from my experience of having a narcissistic boss, yes, they constantly criticize, but she likes, and I think a lot of narcissists like to blend it in with saying good things. Like, my boss literally criticized me for how I was doing my job, but then would be like, "Oh, but look how much you've learned in the short time you've been here." And it's like, "Bro, not cool." Um, and that is also known as gaslighting. So, aggressive behavior, that can just be how they are around you. Do not think that aggressive behavior specifically means physically hurting you, because there are definitely other forms of aggressive behaviors that do not mean somebody has to put their hands on you, okay? Sexual harassment, unwanted touching or stalking, personal and offensive jokes, invading a person's privacy or personal belongings. Now, this one's interesting because I would question person's privacy, because I was in a situation with a supervisor who started to bring up that somebody who's a step higher above she than her went to a funeral and stuff, and I'm like, "Why are you disclosing that to me? Because that's not something you should be sharing with me. That should be up to that person to share with me if they want to share it with me. That really has nothing even to do with the conversation." So, that one's a little bit interesting. And the last two, unequal treatment due to race, gender, age, size, religion, country, sexual orientation, anything that falls under Title 8, right? I'm not good with Roman numerals. Title 8, Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. So everything listed in there was under the Civil Rights Act. And all of that stuff is federal law. So it is illegal in the United States of America to treat somebody differently because of a protected characteristic. And that's what they call it in law, is those things are a protected characteristic, and it needs to be reported. So discrimination of any kind is not okay, and that should be reported. And the last thing is taking credit for someone else's work. Now, the thing is, you're probably watching this and are like, well, I've definitely had experience with this. Sorry, this one strand of hair is just not cooperating. I've definitely had an experience with all of this stuff, but I'm too afraid to lose my job because too often we are taught, or we see even in the media, that if you speak up and you blow the whistle on something that is unlawful, unethical, or whatever, then you get fired by your employer. This happens way too often, and it's not okay. It is also illegal. So if you experience harassment in the workplace and you go and you do a written report on it with the company, and then they fire you, that is employment termination. It is unlawful. It is against the law for an employer or company to do that to you. And if that happens to you, go find how to file a complaint against that, because again, that's unlawful termination. The reason being is because when you go and you report and you put it in writing with the correct people, that is a protected activity. and therefore it kind of automatically says you're in the right and whatever you're reporting on is in the wrong. So, it is very, very sad to me that we live in a society where we often put our jobs first and our morals and ethical beliefs second. Um, Man, this strand of hair is just not gonna cooperate. So we often put those things first, our job and job security first, but we don't want to blow the whistle on anything because we're conditioned that it's not okay and that we're gonna lose our jobs. However, you have to outweigh it and decide, is it worth potentially losing my job to better this company and better people like me who might enter the company after I'm gone? Or do you keep your mouth shut and let some mental things happen to you? Because there's definitely mental things that happen to you when you are harassed by somebody. And so you kind of have to think about it for yourself. So, anyways, I hope this video was helpful. And I don't feel like it was overly out of place like most of my other videos. So if you liked it, if it helps you, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, hit the bell. I post every single weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.